For those of you who don't know who we are from the Atlas Agency Launch Lab. We have a 12-step program where we take agency owners who are either starting or scaling, and we assist them. We hire VAs for them, we do done-for-you stuff for them, and we just really get the agency where it needs to go with a team so they can keep it up after we start working with them. So we thought that we'd come on here because of our experience and the fact that we're agency owners and see what we can do to help you guys. Yeah. So, Jen, tell us about you. Tell us how you became involved in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab and what your background is.
Absolutely. So my partner, Chris, and I, we are clinicians in the wellness industry. So I have my master's in somatic therapy, and I spent years in Europe working on the marketing team for Austria's largest real estate development company. So they built cities and skyscrapers and did a lot of stuff with philanthropy and art. So I really got a good a good harness and understanding of branding and aesthetics and how that really makes such an impact, from small businesses all the way up to the top. And I spent years in New York City in luxury sales, and I led and educated teams on selling. And, and then COVID hit, right? So at that time before that, I got my master's, right, in somatic therapy. And I realized that my clients really needed a lot more support. So I became a certified brain spotting clinician, which is a true biohack that professional athletes, top industry leaders, like a lot of people in corporate, they use it to up level and get into the flow and really help optimize their performance. So last year, my partner and I, Chris, we found an amazing marketing group that we invested in, and we learned how to grow an agency. So it took my skills and his skills, and we built stealth marketing solutions. And we did that by aligning with amazing people like you and Zach, and you'll be meeting Crystal soon. Like, we just procured the best team. So Andy Frisella, he has the #1 business podcast, right? And he always says, surround yourself with people who are experts in what they do, and you create amazing teams. And I specialize in the branding and brand strategy. And yeah, we're just rocking and rolling. We recently just got a massive global client, just a few months in. So yeah, align yourself with people who know what they're doing, and
yeah, for sure.
And also, just really use your network, right? We used arm's reach, and that's how it happened. So never give up on that too.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know us, Jen and I met in maybe January of this year. I was looking for help with sales and front of house for my agency, and she's amazing at that. But I think when we worked together, we realized that how we complemented each other most was really keeping each other motivated. I mean, as she just spoke about, she has this incredibly educated background in brain spotting and somatic movement and all of those things. And so she was able to bring that into my agency and into my life and just show me how to keep motivated, really, I think it was. And that motivation launched Atlas Agency Launch Lab. It really put Atlas Online Solutions, our agency, on the map. And she's amazing, guys. So that's how we met. And since then, we became friends. I don't think we work in each other's agency anymore unless, one of us reaches out for a question. But we mostly share a network. We're here to support students together, though. And so that's why we're here. So today, we're going to talk about how to reach that elusive 10K recurring income every single month. That goal everybody wants. And as you just heard from Jen, their first client was a massive global client. Okay, so you're in the right hands here. I teach people how to do this. I prospect for not just my agency. I get clients for other agencies. Our agency is a little different. So we have a few clients of our own, but the way we've really scaled up is by selling for other people and closing for other people, and then prospecting and closing for other people, because client acquisition is kind of our forte. So that's why we're here. That's what we're here to teach you. If you guys have questions, please put them in the comments. John isn't here with us today, but he is hanging out in the comments. He's going to be responding to everything you say. Crystal's hoping to join us a little bit later on in the evening if she can. She's in Australia, so her time zone is a little different than ours. But yeah, she is very, very good at closing. She's very, very good at scaling agencies, and she is an incredible resource to have inside of your network. So she'll be joining us hopefully later. If not today, then another day. Launch the launch lab, Chris. All right. So what do you find is your most profitable way to get clients, Jen?
Our most profitable way to get clients, definitely you have to prospect. You have to just keep your options open and never stop telling everybody what you're doing, because word of mouth travels really fast.
Oh, yeah.
So that would be my nugget for tonight.
Talking about never stopping, one thing I've noticed when we're getting clients is that if I take a break, like even for like just 3-4 days, when I try come back to it, my brain isn't in it. Like, it's because I'm not doing it every single day. It's not that habit anymore. And it just becomes a thing that I'm like, I don't want to do this. But the other part of that is I find that my pipeline dries out really quickly. Like, if I'm not staying in contact with my prospects and my clients, and if I'm not actively acquiring new connections, then I reach this plateau where there's nothing. It's like a wasteland. You can literally see the tumbleweed. So I think my biggest tip is to always be prospecting. And over the last 6 months, built out some automated ways to do that. And I've realized, does anyone here know about the 3% rule? There's a rule in prospecting and sales, and it basically says that 3% of your audience is ready to buy now. The rest are just out there looking, but they don't have that drive to buy right now. So I realized that if I'm sending 100 cold emails a week, and I'm sending out 200 voicemail drops a week, and I'm doing all these things that are automated, my agency isn't going to scale because I don't have the numbers. I just really don't have the numbers. And I can't remember his name, but the guy that basically introduced SaaS, he says one of his biggest known sayings is sales is numbers. It's just a numbers game. So I realized that I needed to raise my audience, and that's where I came across Podmatch. Has anybody heard of Podmatch? Let's see if anyone has, if they comment in our comments. John, yes, it is all about the network. John is a great one to talk about network, and he'll be on later on this week to talk about that more. No one knows about Podmatch. All right. Podmatch is a podcast hosting service. So you sign up for it. It's about $30 a month, and you get connected with people that have these already established big networks of podcasts that everybody's listening to, and they're recorded. So your audience really expands from that initial one. You get on there, and if your audience is 30, 40, 50,000 people, the 3% of people that are ready to buy right now is way bigger than any cold outreach you could possibly have. So I use Podmatch. I wish I could use it every single day, but I don't have that time in my day. So I try and do that every quarter. I get on a podcast, and at least my goal is to get on a podcast every single quarter. One day I think that will be bigger. So that's one of the things I do. And the other things I do is I automate a lot of my prospecting. Prospecting's hard. Jen and I have prospected together, and she'll tell you a little bit about our story before we got the automated processes in place.
We needed more than 24 hours in a day and 7 days a week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would love for you to share with the group what automated system that you use for your prospecting. That might be.
So I use multiple systems now. So back when I was first starting to get clients, I would send out cold emails using cold emails that everybody uses. But then whenever I got a reply, I used a Trello board. I had to keep a Trello board. I had to go in every single day and send out a nurturing text message and send out a call. And then I'd hope to get them to a call. So I'd send a manual text to make sure they got to the call. And then if they didn't, I would have to add them back to the Trello board so I could keep nurturing that thing and get them to a call. That was one of my automations I fixed very quick. Thank you, Go High Level. So now whenever I have a lead, they can go into the opt-in automation. They get emails, they get my newsletters, they get text messages, they get reminders of appointments once I've booked an appointment. If they don't show, then my CRM does it all for me and gets them back onto my calendar. I don't have to lift a finger. All I have to do is make sure that the right contact is in the right automation at the right time. The other thing I do is I started using Instantly. Instantly is a cold email software that I can have 30, 40, 50 emails going at once. So instead of sending 100 cold emails a week, I can send like 1,000 or 2,000 cold emails a week. So my lead list is just growing so big. And the other part of that is Instantly has a function where you can see who's opened your emails and how many times they opened it. When Jen and I were prospecting, we kept noticing this trend. We were talking to a lot of hairdressers and med spas at the time. And we kept noticing this trend that people were opening up our email 8, 10, 14 times, but nobody was even responding. Like they weren't calling us. So what I do now is I go through, or I get a VA to go through and take all of the contacts that have opened up the emails more than once, and I load them into a voicemail automation. So that way they get a phone call. Their phone still rings for like 3 to 4 seconds, depending on how I've said it. And it just leaves a message. It says, hey, I sent you an email and I'm in between meetings right now. I just wanted to see if I could book a time on your book an appointment with you. And most of the time they will ring back because I've actually left them a message. They know that they've opened up this email. They have been interested and I've taken that extra step. The one that I found I don't leave a voice message for is insurance investors. Insurance investors, if you're using the voicemail drop system, don't leave a voicemail. A lot of their leads, they come through and they want what life insurance gives them. Most of the time, they don't want to speak to a broker. So they're used to getting blank voicemails all the time. So I leave them blank voicemails and they call me back because they think I'm a lead. They think I'm somebody they can sell to. So I get a lot better response doing it that way. So that's 2 of my automated ways of prospecting. There are a few more, but those are the 2 that I find the most effective at the moment with nurturing whichever way I get my leads. Yeah. Everybody there in the comments, you gotta tell me what your favorite prospecting methods are, because you might have some I don't have. I want to know. Tell me. Matthew, I guess this call is majorly for acquiring clients. Yes, Matthew, this call is mostly talking about how to get clients. If you're going to have an agency, you can't have an agency without clients. So this night, we're going to talk about that. I'm also going to give you guys my free training on how to get clients. It has like 20-something different methods that I use so that you all know how to use that, including one of the scripts I use. Carrie. So you can leave a voicemail even though they haven't opted in to allow phone calls. So in the United States at the moment, the current law allows you to leave a voicemail as long as B2B. If it is B2C, no, I can't do that. But B2B, I can. Chris, Lead Kahuna is supposedly great for email prospecting. Yes, Lead Kahuna is awesome. They even have an AI function that I think Jen can tell us a little bit more about.
Yeah, no, it's pretty basically in a nutshell. It's everything that you said, but it literally automates it. It will write the emails for you. They also have a multi-city channel, so it can just find, usually before we bought in for that, you would only be able to do one city at a time. So you can do like many cities at a time. So you can just get a lot of warm leads. They do find phone numbers very well. So a lot of the times the emails are not as updated as the phone numbers. So we're finding it a very useful way of doing our prospecting.
Another one that works similar to that is Leads Gorilla. So
Mm-hmm.
you can put in a city, a niche, a keyword, and
Yeah.
it will give you a bunch of leads, and then it will break down the leads themselves. So it'll tell you whether or not their Google business profile is verified, where they're ranking in SEO, and things like this. And then AI will write an email if you give it some prompts and some things to put in there. Write an email speaking to the things that AI has found. So you've just got to like press next, press next, press next, and send. It's gone. It's very, very good. There are some good AI things out there like that now.
That's exactly what Lead Kahuna does too. It does such an extensive audit that by the time it does reach them and by the time you do speak with them, they already feel that they know that what you offer is what they need. So it really helps to filter them out.
Yeah. Last time I looked at Leads Kahuna, it was before AI changed our landscape, and so it wasn't that awesome. But I think I've heard things from you that I need to look at it again and have another look.
You can definitely always take a look.
All right, another prospecting method that a lot of you might not heard of is LinkedIn. Now, before you roll your eyes and get off this call, I'm not telling you to send 100 cold messages a day, because cold outreach is not always very effective. Have you ever heard of the lives that go onto LinkedIn? I'm asking questions, I'm expecting comments. If not, that's fine. LinkedIn hosts live events, and a lot of big businesses use that to nurture their network because they have really, really big networks. Okay. So if you search, all of us here are digital marketers or funnel builders. If you search digital marketing, it will come up with a list of things that are related to digital marketing. If you go over onto the left-hand side and scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see live events. So click into there and say that you're attending the live event. You don't actually have to go. You just have to sign up for it so that you're a participant. You sign up into it, and once you're there, you have a list of every single person that's currently attending this live event. Data kind of shows that most people attending live events about digital marketing is because they're either not happy with their current digital marketing or they want digital marketing. So instead of sending a bunch of cold emails to the plumber down the street that doesn't need to hear from you, you could be sending a bunch of messages to people that are actually looking for you. That's another way that it really changed the way I started getting clients, I think, was when I went to a bigger and I went to a warmer market.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. LinkedIn's a tricky one, though. I find that a lot of businesses, if I contact them any other way and I try and pitch them, they're usually a bit more receptive. If I try and pitch anybody through LinkedIn, they just shut down. Like, they don't care. And I think it's because everybody on LinkedIn's getting pitched by everybody. Like, it's every day. I get it in my LinkedIn. I get so many messages, and they're all still using mostly still using the tired script of, hey, do you need more clients? And so nobody cares anymore because they're getting it from everybody. So I found actually that the best way to reach out to people on LinkedIn is to go to these events, and instead of trying to pitch them, I throw them off their guard and think I'm never going to pitch them, actually. I just say, you know what, I'm doing some market and avatar research, trying to understand the pain points that my clients are going to, or my potential clients have. I wondered if you'd be open to an interview so that I could sit down and ask you about what are your marketing challenges at the moment so I can understand the market better. Most people are like, yeah, absolutely, because they go to LinkedIn to hang out. They don't go to LinkedIn to get pitched. And so, you know, they're there to grow their network and to hang out. So they're like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And I get on the call and I can go through the questions that you asked during your sales calls. You know, what is it that's, you know, you're struggling most with scaling your business? How's that making you feel? How's it affecting your family? All of these things, and it naturally leads itself into providing a solution and pitching them.
So smart.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Chris, I've seen LinkedIn Lives of physical therapy related courses for cash-based practice owners. Ooh, that's a good one. You work with physical therapists at Stealth, don't you, Jen?
Yes, we do. Orthopedics are our specialty for now.
Yeah. Well,
But
there you go, Chris. You know
that's a
how to find them now.
that's a whole cash based is a whole nother it's actually a whole nother, avenue to look into for people because they are really in need of marketing
Yeah.
because they're out of the insurance system.
Yeah. Like I haven't used physical therapy here in the States myself, but I know when my child needed physical therapy, it was, the doctor said, okay, I'm going to take your insurance. Okay, go to this one. Like there was no even looking for them. So yeah, they definitely need marketing.
Yeah.
Faith. Oh, LinkedIn. I'm surely going to put that one to good use. Yay! I'm so glad that we could help you. Let us know how it goes, okay? John, I think we're over prospected on LinkedIn through standard ways, so this is terrific. Any way you can warm up your lead is a great way to help you. Yes. Yes, John, it is. I hope it helps you. John is a little different than most of us. So most of us are out there prospecting business owners. He works with digital marketers. He's not, hey, digital marketers, I'm going to find you new leads, because we all see those ads everywhere all over Facebook. He's got something a little bit different where he comes in and he finds out the parts of your business that are bogging you down, that are taking you too much time. And he basically helps you work out how to use your CRM or any other process. Actually, he's got a massive, massive network. And he works out how to free up your time, basically. He's very good. You should have a conversation. In fact, he's coming live with us on Thursday night and he's giving away some free snapshots. Oh, yeah.
John's the man.
Yeah. So, is anybody interested in some free prospecting training? Yay, from Carrie. Hear that, John? Carrie's excited about she's excited about free snapshots. So John's amazing. He's the guy that I get to build out snapshots for students and things like that. And if I get stuck on Go High Level, he's going to know the answer. And if he doesn't know the answer, he's going to find it for me. And it's going to be the right one. So he's good.
It's all about having a good, powerful, strong team.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to be looking at different tabs here to get you guys a link for that training. So just give me a minute. Oh, clicked on the wrong button. What time zone are all you guys in? 7 o'clock here on a Sunday night for me. If you have more questions, fire them my way. I've got other things to talk about, but I'd love to answer your questions first because that's what we're here for mostly. I should have got this before we went on the live, so I didn't have to do this and make you guys wait. Sorry. Seven in the morning, dear Conrad. Where are you? Carrie's in Phoenix. Chris is like, I will take snapshots from John Nelson, the Go High Level guru. Yes, you can have snapshots. You can have everyone can have snapshots. Philippines, Conrad. Well, thank you for being up early enough to join us. Robert would like some snapshots. All right, join us on Thursday. Everybody who wants snapshots, join us on Thursday, okay? Florida. All right, I've posted the link there for the free training. If anybody has difficulty getting into it, let me know. Just send us a private message or even just post that you need some help because we will get it for you. All right, since this is about client acquisition, we should probably talk about how often you need to reach out to your prospect to turn them into sales. How many of you have been pitched inside of your DMs or your LinkedIn and you get one, maybe two messages saying, hi, I can help you get whatever, and then you don't hear from them again? Like never. Probably most of you, because it happens to me every single day. Did you know, in fact, maybe you all do know, because Google did this research and they released it earlier on this year. Science is now telling us that, research is telling us that we need to reach out to prospects 11 times over 4 different events with 7 hours of content. I'm going to pause for a minute so you can think about that. 7 hours of content and 11 times. That's before they reach back out to you and make a sale. That is a lot of times. And if you think about it, 7 hours is a lot of time to spend on one prospect. So I don't send out 7 hours worth of emails, and I don't send out 7 hours worth of DMs or LinkedIn messages or anything else. What I do, and the way that I try to optimize my prospecting, is I will send out an email chain with between 5 and 8 points. Inside of the email chain, I will link case studies. I will link testimonials. I will put a link to my Facebook group that I have built out. I will put a link to my website. I'll put a link to my LinkedIn, put a link to my calendar. I'll put a link to my social media business page. I will send them as many different links and as many different ways to find me as possible. That will make up the 7 hours worth of content. Because if they can find blogs and they can find my website, they can read my bios, which are different on every single platform that I'm on, they're going to find out more about me. They're going to feel like they can trust me. I'm a real person. I am bearing everything to them. I have nothing to hide. All right. And then I don't just send them emails. I will send them voicemails. If they're a business, I'll send them voicemails. I will message them on LinkedIn. Now, I can only connect with 100 people a week on LinkedIn, right? So I obviously don't try and connect with everybody I send cold messages to. But I will connect with the people that I consider big fish, that I'm like, yeah, I want that one. Or I will connect with people who have opened up my email at least 8 times. And that way, I am reaching them at different points. I will invite them to Facebook groups where I'll go live and I'll talk to them about marketing challenges, how they can see whether or not their current marketing strategy is working for them, how they can improve on it, things like that. That's way I'm having more contact with them. All right. How many of you are currently doing that? Carrie says daily. Carrie says you got to talk to them daily. You're not that far wrong there, Carrie. John, I guess I better bring my A game on Thursday. Meantime, I'm always ready for some prospecting tools from these ladies. All right, John, you got it. You got it all. So nobody wants to own up to the fact that their prospecting isn't that advanced. And do you know what? I'll be completely honest. I could do better. I have days where I know I should be making those phone calls. I know that I send a personalized email or I send out a video prospecting email to complement something because these are big fish I really, really want. And I put it off. I'm like, oh, I'll call them at 3 o'clock. I mean, there's a time difference. And it gets to 4 and I'm like, oh, I just need a cup of tea first. I'll step outside. And then it's after 5 and I'm like, well, technically I'm off the clock. They're not going to think I'm very professional, right? So I'll do it tomorrow. And I do. I have these moments because as much as I've automated my prospecting, I probably could hire VAs to do a lot more of it for me, so I'm a lot less burnt out. But I get burnt out and I get unmotivated. And Jen knows a lot about that. I remember that when we worked together, both her and I, at the end of it, after like 3.5 months, 4 months of just really pushing to get everything going for ourselves, we were burnt because we hadn't implemented the strategies that you need to keep it going, to keep motivated, keep it going. So I'm going to let Jen talk to you a little bit about that, because she's really been my absolute rock. Whenever I've hit a wall, whenever I've been falling apart, everything that she brings to the table has really, really helped me push that through.
Well, I feel the same way about you. And one of the things that Chris and I did, because we are not as tech savvy as you are, we hired a professional prospector, right? She actually found me on LinkedIn, and I vetted her and I interviewed her, and she was absolutely fabulous and had owned and run a very successful Amazon business before, and just worked for different agencies. And we have her do our prospecting. So there's that option as well for someone who literally to do that kind of work for you. So there's so many different ways that you can scale. And if you do have the ability to do that, that's also an option. So she gives a very personalized approach. And, I trust her to get her to that place for my prospects, that by the time I get on a call with them, that they're warmed up and ready. So, and I can always share her name if you're interested.
Yes. Well, for those of us that too much of micromanagers to let other people do it ourselves, can you share some tips and tricks on how to take care of ourselves when we're doing it ourselves?
Well,
I'm going to step away, get some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. So burnout, it's such a big thing, right? We're all endlessly sitting here on the computer, like multitasking, having so much to do, and like we just lose track and sense of time and sense of feeling in our bodies. So and I'm going to be sharing this next weekend, we're going to be doing something called a group brain spotting biohacking strategy. And it literally is using your eyes and your breath to connect with a space within yourself that you're feeling where you're not connecting. Like if you feel like you are losing focus or just don't feel motivated, it's not like you're not motivated, but if you start to feel defeated because you're not getting the tasks done that you should get done, like that's a brain block, right? And you can feel that in your body. And brain spotting is a really effective, quick way. I'm going to teach you how to do self spotting, where you can literally reset your nervous system in the moment so you can just be able to handle the stress easier. So I'm really excited to help everybody with that. It's just completely changed my life. They use it clinically in trauma with war veterans, and and stress is stress. So anytime you have, say, a hard conversation or a stressful sales call, or something's not working in your CRM, and you don't take a moment to like take care of the body that's allowing your mind to execute these things, it just starts to snowball, and then you start to feel tired and get brain fog and things like that. So I am here to make sure that that doesn't happen, because as agency owners, we lose track of all of that. And it's not an easy thing to do. And if we don't take care of our bodies, like there's no point in not enjoying the process. So I'm excited to share it all with you next week.
Yeah, so you guys should definitely tune in for that one. I will tell you, I'm not the best at doing it. So thankfully, I have Jen sending me messages and talking to me about self-care. Literally just today, I have been working on everything for the Launch Lab, working on everything for my agency, closing some big deals, including using an interpreter for other big agencies, doing prospecting for these other agencies. And then I have a family as well. Like, I have a husband, I have 2 kids, and I have everything else going on in my life. I have in-laws. So all of these things, and I just wasn't stopping. And I just got to this point where I'm like, I feel like I need to take a day, 2, 3 days and just do nothing. Like sit there, eat Chinese food, watch soppy movies. Like I was like, I don't know how else I'm going to cope, because it was just feeling like it was all too much, because it does. Thankfully, I was able to sit down with Jen, and I swear 100%, this is completely honest, within 30 minutes, she took me from like way up here, not able to be productive, not able to do anything, to like, right, I got this. Like, what do I need to get done today? So you should be here next weekend on Sunday night. She's going to be coming on. She's been teaching you all about that, because it is the best kept secret in this whole industry, guys. you will skyrocket your productivity.
Yeah.
You'll find motivation. You'll be able to have that work-life balance that we all really, really want with just like these simple, like that's so simple. I couldn't believe how amazing it was. So yeah, you guys need to be here for that.
Yeah, people think that it's so difficult and they have to either like go off to a mountain or go into some coaching program and do this. It's literally like tools that you can use every single day just to reset yourself. So
yeah,
it's going to
yeah.
be really
It works for my kids too. Like any of you guys that are parents, you'll know that sometimes children, they just have bad days. Like I have bad days. And I literally took my son after a session with Jen. Now, I'm not a professional. Like I'm not saying, don't ask me for help, guys. I'll go ask Jen. But anyway, I took my son outside and I was able to just share it with him in like a really, really simple child-based way. And it took him, a 10-year-old, from all the way up here to like giving me hugs, everything. This stuff is amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, well, and just one more thing, it's on the premise of like where you look affects how you feel. Like literally, like you could be at your computer and you're just mindlessly doing something. And sometimes you just feel like you're lost in the thought. Like we're doing it all day long when you just find yourself like staring off into the distance and looking at something and realizing, well, that is your brain spotting, because we have 100 million neurons in our eyes that are directly connected to our midbrain, and our midbrain actually controls our neocortex, which is our logical thinking brain. So I'm going to help you assess if you're having a logical brain issue versus a midbrain issue, and then how you can start to clear that in your body. So just so you can function better. It's all about like, we need to be like highly optimized in our performance. And we're going to do that next week.
Yeah. So brain spotting is one of the things that we have been talking about bringing to the Atlas Agency Launch Lab, because, you know, we're not just here to launch an agency. We're here to look after the person as a whole. And like, as I mentioned, when Jen and I really just put our heads down, like we've been doing it for almost 5 years, but that time that Jen and I spent together, we were doing foolish things like working 16-hour days every single day. But, you know, we were really focused. Like we wanted to get there and we were determined to do that work. And at the end of it, you know, we had to stop, which meant that our prospect pipeline, you know, dried up. Our clients, they just weren't getting the best from us because we were burnt out. I was like, I can't do this. Like, thankfully, I found the automated ways to do it, but it was hard. So yeah, it's amazing. All right, we should get back to the questions. I'm sure there's been some questions. Chris, good ideas. Any way to build rapport and get to know your clients and prospects? Yes. Yes, there is. All right. So as we talked about, we all get pitched by people saying, hey, I'm really good at getting new clients. We see the ads everywhere. All right. Do we answer them? Most of the time, not really. We ignore them. I even leave them in the spam folder because I don't want people to even think I even looked at them. I have a few ideas. One, you're sending out cold emails, cold outreach. I'm not saying don't do cold outreach. You need to do cold outreach. If you want to be able to scale your agency in any measurable, tangible way, you need to be doing cold outreach. However, it is a set and forget process. You set it up, put it into your cold email outreach software, put it into Sales Navigator, you put it wherever you want to do, and it's set and forget, okay? There is a way to do it and there's a wrong way to do it. Right way is to talk all about your prospect. You don't want to go in there saying, hi, you know, I can get you 15 sales appointments and close 5 of them for you in the next 2 weeks. You know, you don't want to do that. Nobody cares about what it is you can do. They want to know what it is you can solve for them. All right. So when you're going to reach out to somebody, you're going to think very, very clearly about what is it that is going on inside of their business, inside of their personal life, inside of their mind, inside of their emotional regulation, inside of their nervous system. You want to know all these things and think about them. Because when you're talking to these people, you want these people to know that you understand them, that you are here because you know that they have this problem and you have a solution. So you're going to word your email something along the lines of, My mind's just gone blank. I do this every day, all day, and my mind's just gone blank. All right. You're going to word your email along the words of, have you ever wished that there was an easier way to get this? Do you wake up in the morning feeling this? Do you wish that you could do this? All right. And then you're going to add in some proof, because that rapport that Chris was just asking about is incredibly important. And it doesn't have to be, if you guys are just starting out, it doesn't have to be, I worked with this major name that everybody knows and I got them results. It can just be, you're not alone. A lot of our clients are feeling this way and they're coming to us, and this is how we're solving their problem. All right. You're saying that's what you do. You're empathizing with them. You're letting them know they aren't alone. You're telling them that other people indirectly have had success and solved that pain themselves. That's the kind of email they're going to answer to. And that's the kind of cold outreach DM that they're going to answer to. All right.
And also thinking about brand story, the hero's journey, right? The archetypal journey of like the buyer's journey. They've got wants, they've got needs, and we come in as the guide. We offer them their solution, but then we also have to challenge them. There always has to be a call to action. We have to figure out in some way, let them know what's at stake if they don't do this. So there's structure to it. So to remember that you have to push them and challenge them to make that decision to get on a call with you as well.
Yeah. One of these weeks, probably maybe Thursday next week, no promises, but maybe Thursday next week, I'll give you guys my free script writing training. All right. I'm not going to give you my scripts because I give that to my students, but I will give you the script training so that you can work out exactly what it is that you need to put inside of your script. And I have like 18 different points. I'm going to say, you need this, you need this, and you need this. And these are like screenshots of scripts and things that I have used myself. So I'll give that to you guys probably next week, maybe the week after. All right. Oh, do you know what? There's another thing I just remembered to answer Chris's question. When you reach out to your prospects, it doesn't have to be cold outreach, okay? But when you reach out to them, you can have a look and see what's been going on in their life, right? Now, I'm not talking about taking 30 minutes for every single email to find out which college they went to and which sports team they like. I'm saying, all right, let's say you've got a list of 100 plumbers that are all in Chicago, all right? So you look up Chicago and you see whether or not they've had any big weather events. You see whether or not there's been a big game in the area. You know, plumbers, men probably like sports and beer. You can ask them whether or not they've tried a new beer that got put out there. Now, yes, okay, I'm sorry, men. I would not be happy if a man came on and said this about women. So I take that back and I apologize. But you get what I'm trying to say, all right? You can find something that is specific to them and you can ask a question. So you can say, hey, did you get to that game? Or, you know, that massive weather event that happened the other week, did you find that affected your business? Or have you tried the new Sam Adams that just came out the other day? You can put that in and send it to every single person in your cold email script. But when that person reads it, they're going to think, you know, she's talking to me. So you can personalize everything. And you should be personalizing everything.
And that's where LinkedIn is good if you want to go look on their about and see what their experiences are or what their bio says. You can always find something there to help that personalization.
Yeah. John says, I've used LinkedIn to get contact information with a sequence of just trying to connect with them. No pitch. I'd get leads from services like Apollo.ai and others. I then use LinkedIn to get their contact information and fill in their database. Yes. Yeah. So what John's talking about just now, you should all be trying that. Don't be pitching them on LinkedIn. Use it to network, use it to connect with them, build a relationship, have a conversation. From there, you're going to get contact information that you can pitch them with. So yes, thank you for that. When I was looking on LinkedIn for wellness, I tried to look for more than just one thing about them from their profile. That was more than just a little basic information. Yeah, 100%. So one of the things I do, Now, I try and limit myself to 5 a day because otherwise I'll end up down a rabbit hole trying to be nosy about everybody's life, and that's not what we're here to do. Okay. But 5 a day, I will talk to my clients if it's been their birthday or something like that. If there's been a weather event in my client's area, I'll make sure I put them on the top of my personalized list. If there's a big fish client that I'm like, I really want that one, then I will add them to my list as well. And I will go through the information like LinkedIn. When I want to send them an email, kind of like I would when I'm talking to a friend, there's no pitch. There's still a call to action down the bottom, but it's a soft one. You know, it's like I'd love to network with you further and talk more. Here's my calendar link or whatever, or include that in the signature. But LinkedIn is probably my favorite resource to be nosy about people, so I can send those personalized emails.
I'm also thinking about Mark Firth, right? He's this like awesome LinkedIn guru, and he talks about really being strong and bold in an opinion, even if it like rubs, them the wrong way. You can say it in a way that like garners their attention and elicits a response. Like Chris and I did this for our big whale of a client. We didn't hear from them from their first, oh, hello, we do this and we can help you, even though it was a warm lead through a colleague. We got really bold and we let them know, like we did an audit and we added some of the audit about like what they were doing wrong and like how we really feel like they could be doing it better. And they responded because they were just like, oh, should we be doing that? It was almost like, their ego got a little jostled, and and then with Crystal's masterful help on closing and nurturing that, we landed that. So you never know. Everybody's different. So you have to stay creative. And if something's not working, like always change it up. And like there's ChatGPT. You do ask these kind of questions, like prompt these questions. Maybe put your email in and be like, what are the things that are wrong with it? Chris should come on sometime to do the ChatGPT prompting, because he knows how to like get into a conversation with it. So that could also be something that could
100%
editing process, to ask what we're doing wrong with it.
When I was building out the Atlas Agency Launch Lab curriculum, the amount of times that I would say, do you know what? I can't think of a label for this. I can't do that. Chris was the guy, right? He would talk to ChatGPT like it was his best friend, and ChatGPT came up with this gold. Like, it is his best friend. We will be replaced here, Jen. Yeah, no, we should definitely get him on to talk about ChatGPT.
Yeah.
If he's sitting there listening to us, he's going to be like shaking his head, going, "Don't drag me into this."
Yeah. It's great to be bold too.
Yeah. All right, John. After building a relationship with somebody on LinkedIn or whenever, when is the right time to pitch them? John, the answer to that question is when you know the pain that you're pitching to. All right. There's no point in building a relationship with somebody if you're not building towards that call, right? I mean, yes, it's great to make friends, but honestly, how long do pen pals really last? Probably not very long. Life's going to get busy. Your agency is going to rocket, John, and you're not going to have the time to sit there and talk to 50 people on LinkedIn anymore. So the questions you should be asking in a conversationable networking way, though, is about the pain points that you can solve. All right? So it can be very, very, very varied. I have been having a conversation with a woman on LinkedIn. We've talked about her allergies, talked about her grandkids, talked about a lot of different things, but I always bring it back to her business. So she's telling me about her allergies, and I say, do you know what? I've heard that local honey is amazing for that. Have you tried it? I tried it for myself. Works most of the time, but not for a big flare-up. But I do find that helps me get back to work. How do you find that your allergies are affecting your work? I'm always bringing it back to the topic that I need to know about, so I know when and how to pitch her. Hope that helps. Chris, I want the robots to like me before they take over. Oh, Chris, everybody likes you. The robot's going to love you. You can be fine. You talk their language.
Right.
I got to plug my computer in. I was not very organized for this live. 1 second, guys. Chris, if you can talk to ChatGPT, I need you to be able to talk to my computer as well, because it keeps doing things it shouldn't be doing. Like dying all the time. right back.
I can't see the comments, so we're just
Oh,
gonna
if
sit.
you open up another tab on your computer, Jan, you'll be able to see the
Yeah.
comments
Okay.
on
Good.
the Facebook Live.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Oh. Chris, ChatGPT is helpful to brainstorm and it gets more ideas that can really spark your creativity. Do you know what? You're not wrong. So one of the things when building out scripts, and as I mentioned, I prospect for more than just myself. I prospect for other agencies because client acquisition's kind of become my jam. And when I get stuck, because I want to make sure that the emails I'm sending on behalf of other people's agencies are unique to their brand, are unique to their service offerings, and are unique to their prospect avatar, I will quite literally go to ChatGPT and say, rewrite this from this standpoint using this service. And then it will spit something out for me. Now, I'm not going to use it, but it's going to give me the framework and the ideas that I can use to create something specific to that agency. So you guys can do that too. Carrie, I have used ChatGPT to help with topics to write quick articles about. It really does help my creativity. Yes, it does. It's really, really amazing. Some of us are scared of AI when it comes to marketing. And in a way, rightly so. I mean, I think that give us a year and AI is going to be doing things like SEO and all of those things for us. But if we know how to use it, and if we know how to teach our clients to use it, and we're providing 5, 10, 15 different services inside of our agency that can't be replaced by AI, and yet we're friendly with AI, then AI is never going to push us out. All right, we're still going to be here because AI is our friend, and AI is going to stay our clients' friends because we're going to teach them how to use it. Uh-oh, we lost Jen. That's okay, she'll be back. Right, so one more prospecting method. So we talked about building out an audience. We talked about using specific scripts. We talked about talking to pain points. We talked about not pitching, building relationships and nurturing. We talked about the amount of times that you need to contact a prospect. We talked about the ways and the different platforms that you can contact a prospect. Welcome back, Jen. So all of these things really, really come together if you do this one tip that I'm going to teach you how to do. Now, I teach this in my Launch Lab training, which all of you guys have. And I give you guys the exact scripts to use for this inside of our audit training. Audit training is not free, but the script training is, and you guys are very clever and amazing because you guys have been around and probably know a lot more about Go High Level than I do and what it can do. So you guys are going to be able to figure this out yourselves. In my email chains, I always invite people to join a Facebook group. All right. I say, hey, no, even if they say, no, I'm not interested, I say, no worries. If you're interested in learning about marketing, maybe about how to do it yourself, maybe about how to see whether or not the agency you're currently working with is doing it the right way, you're welcome to, let's change the lighting, it was bad. You're welcome to join the Facebook group that I had built out for businesses using marketing strategies like yours. All right. You say, look, I go live once a month, once every 2 months, and I share how to make the most out of your marketing money. How to make sure that your agency is spending your money wisely, and how to make sure that the communication that you're getting from your agency is matching up with the numbers that you're seeing them produce. All right. So you're building out this group. You're building out this group of your ideal prospect, your ideal client. And you're going to go on and you're going to teach them. All right. You're going to teach them how to do all of those things. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to go inside their mind, if this guy's telling me how to find out whether or not he's a fraud, then he can't be a fraud because he just taught me how to see that. So they're going to trust you. All right. There's this huge problem in our industry of burning and churning clients. All right. And it's hard to avoid when we're just starting out, but it's a big problem, and businesses are the ones being affected. All right. So they're not trusting us as much. But if you're going to build out a Facebook group, then you're going to be teaching them how to hold you accountable, and that's going to build trust. That's going to build rapport. They're going to become your clients, right? So that's another way that you can nurture them, that you can not pitch them. You're providing them with something that they need, and you can really just turn the tables on the way that everybody else is doing it. So they're going to see you as different. That contrast is really, really going to change the way that they view you in the industry.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, I have used ChatGPT to help with writing topics. I teach AI programming to my students, so it's one of those things I can really embrace. Just make sure you verify the sources. Mm-hmm. AI is having integrity issues at the moment. Mm-hmm. And Chris says, yes, for sure, you must vet all the info.
Yep.
I'm going to be completely honest, guys, put my hand up here and say, I probably use ChatGPT worse than a 1-year-old these days. However, I have aligned myself with people that know how to use ChatGPT and know how to teach me to do it and things like that. So is Jen. Chris is one of those people. So yes, one of the things that they are very clear about is you need to vet the sources. Can you use an assistant to run their Facebook group, or is that a trust issue? So you can use an assistant. What exactly are you thinking that they're going to do? All right. So there's multiple ways you can do this. It isn't going to take up your time. You can have an assistant that is collecting the information that you are asking of them, when they join. So you might only have the email, and so you might be asking for their phone number or something else when they join, so that you can you just word it like, so I can notify you the next time I go live or whatever. So you can have an assistant managing all of them, making sure that nobody else is pitching your prospects, that it's really there to add value, and it's somewhere someone wants to be. But when you're going to go live, I suggest that it's you as the agency head. I really, really do. It's going to build trust in your brand, and branding is something that isn't spoken to very much by students, especially in the digital marketing space. I mean, there's a lot of conversation when you're talking about like social media marketing and everything else. When you're talking about a more holistic, nitty-gritty, technical side of marketing, it's not spoken about a lot. And we have remedied that in the Launch Lab. Jennifer has come on and she's given us some really, really great material about that. But you being willing to put your face out there as the owner of an agency, that's going to build trust that you could never get using an assistant. And if it's too time consuming, then you can sit there and you can record it. You can pre-record it. You can use Go High Level to build out a membership area, make the offer free, and then just put it in there as free content. You jump on for 5 minutes and say, hey guys, here's the free training I promised. Here's the link. Can't wait to see you on the inside. All right. That way they can still see your face. You can do it whenever you want to. You don't have to go lives if lives make you nervous, except for more than 5 minutes. You can edit it as much as you need to, but you're still sticking your face out there. Does that help?
And think about it, right? All of us are, in this sphere doing something similar, right? It's all this technical stuff. Like, it's your personality that people are going to resonate with, right? So not everybody resonates with everyone. So it gives you an opportunity to have the human side, that customer relations aspect to your business. So people will be gravitated towards who you are as a person for what the services, you're going to be offering them. So
100%. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so you guys know, I'm kind of giving away my best stuff here. So don't squeeze me out, guys. I still need clients, all right? Carrie, I literally teach college classes, but going live on Facebook terrifies me. Oh, honey, it terrifies everyone. But you know what? You need to have a conversation with Jen. Going live terrifies me too. All right, and I have to go live. It's my job. I'm teaching people. I have to do this. Right? Terrifies me too.
We can brain spot that. We can brain spot that very easily. Get to the root cause of that neurologically. It's just a shift in your brain.
Do you know what? Outside of brain spotting, though, Jen has some really, really good material on somatic movements about like when you're stressed. So I mentioned a little bit earlier on the call, like I do a lot of sales calls, but there are still some sales calls that terrify me. They really, really do. And so Jen's taught me, like, I'm not going to teach you because I don't remember it all. I sit there and I watch the video and follow along with what she's saying. But Jen, she has some things that like really, they calm you down. Like, I'm still scared, you know, and I think Jen can explain why excitement and being scared is the same thing better, but it helps me not let it control me in a way.
Well, these are tools that professional dancers use, professional performers, actors, actresses, anybody who has to do any public speaking, right? They have to warm up their voice. They have to warm up their presence, and they have to feel grounded in their bodies. So yeah, excitement and anxiety literally are like the different side of the same coin. So once you can like tune in and notice how you can shift your perception of that through your body and your mind in a very super simple way, that's all silent based, right? All these processes are happening silently. It can get that nervousness just revved up with excitement, so you can also live with the nervousness as well, right? Because they coexist together. It's there to propel you, right, and motivate you, and use that as a driving force. So without it hindering us. So we'll get through all of that with pleasure.
Yeah. And the other thing, if you find that you get on and you can't do it, just cancel out and be like, sorry guys, there's a technical issue.
Yeah.
Or just record. Everyone's going to believe that because Facebook's beast.
It's okay. Recording's better than nothing.
Yeah. No, yeah. And the other thing about recording, though, is that they can keep it for the lifetime of the course. Like, they can go back and they can see that as many times as they want. All right. And you can also put in downloadables. So you could put like a checklist of these are things that you should check. And I teach you guys how to do this inside of my audit that I believe is in the library in the free training that I just sent you. But you'll be able to give them a checklist. You'll be able to give them free material that they can keep for life if you pre-record it. So it's always an option.
And you can always record as many times as you want until you get it right.
So I record modules. Like we have 12 weeks and countless modules. All right, I'm going to be 100% serious. In fact, if anyone here is doing my training, you're probably going to hear it in there. I'm okay with talking. I'm okay being on live. When it comes to recording, I'm terrible, guys. I really, really am. And I might say this. I am. You should listen to my recorded stuff, Jen. It's fun. I might say the same sentence or the same paragraph like 15 times. And my husband, Zach, he might be coming live next weekend, but he has to sit there and take out all my bloopers and take out all the really long pauses because I'm sitting there going, right now, what does Jen say to do when you get stressed out?
You should have some bonus material just of bloopers.
Yeah. So the great thing about pre-recording is you can mess up as much as you want and then just slice it all together.
Yep.
Okay. Any advice on using Bark or Alignable? Yes. All right. So most of us know about Upwork. Upwork is kind of your guys' playground. And a lot of you probably haven't heard about using Bark. So Bark it's a bit costly. It really is. But it gives you real leads, real time. So I get 300 leads a day from them. All right. And I can pick and choose which ones I'm going to bid on. So you have to buy credits to bid on them. The good ones, the ones everybody wants, are quite expensive, up to like 40 credits. But if you land that job, that's your agency. Like it's, you're going to be fine. And so you can bid on it. Up to 5 agencies or freelancers can bid on the same job, right? So you really, really need to make sure that what you're doing is different than everybody else bidding on them, right? So I recommend using the video prospecting that we talk about in the audit. I know that Crystal's coming on live soon. She's really, really, really good at this video prospecting as well. Yeah, so good. And she also has training that is it's different than mine. She has her scripts and I have my scripts. Either way, whichever one you choose to get, it's going to work for you. And so I go in there and I just do a 5, sometimes 3-minute video, right? And when I send the initial email through the contact information I've just bought, I've put my face out there in front of them. So remember that 7-11-4 rule that we just talked about? They need content. They need to be able to consume something about you before they come onto a call with you. So if I'm doing a video prospecting call method for every single lead that I buy on Bark, they convert much better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alignable. Alignable is a different one. I don't ever pitch anybody in Alignable. Alignable is more of a networking space. However, what I do is I get a little bit sneaky. Everybody that I connect with, I take all of their contact information and I edit into my CRM. And then I just say, to keep our networking alive, would you be okay with me sending you newsletters? They always say yes. Like, they don't care because they think they can just ignore it if they want to. That means that you now have permission to send them marketing and promotional material. They've said yes to it. So you're not cold pitching them. You're literally there to build out a relationship. And you use the same process that I do with LinkedIn. Make sure that every single conversation that I'm having with this person is finding out the pain points that I'm going to pitch to. John, I was going to ask, in addition to lives in your Facebook group, how else do you suggest adding value to that group for somebody? So many different ways. I think one of my favorite ways, I call it guerrilla marketing. So I go in there and every single time somebody asks a question, I'm going to give them the answer. All right. I don't say, send me a private message, let's go on a call, because they can see the pitch coming. Right? Everybody can see the pitch coming because that's what everybody's doing. If you just give them the answer, like, I have a bunch of leads and none of them are converting sales. That's a massive problem for almost every single business owner. In fact, it's a massive problem for us. So I cover a lot of that training inside the agency launch lab. And I just give them my scripts. I just say, this is how you talk to them. The first 7 to 12 seconds of any conversation you have with anybody is the most important. It basically decides whether or not they're going to do business with you. And the same goes for your business owners, all right? You need to do it this way. And that's what I say. And then they see that it works. And they're like, she knows what she's talking about. All right, maybe I can trust her with this. Or maybe I can trust her with $5,000 worth of marketing. So that's how I do that. What about you, Jen? Do you have anything to add so far?
With how to do other things other than the Facebook group and I'm not really that active on social media. So, and that we're working with these big clients, I'm focusing a lot on the branding part. So I'm actually not focusing a lot on the prospecting part because
that's fair. Oh, do you know what though? There is one method that Jen and I have used for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Inside Facebook groups that aren't yours. All right. You go in there and you stick your hand up and you try and private message every single person that asks a question. Say, I can do that for you. Send me a private message. Most of them aren't going to go with you because you just pitched them.
Yeah. We compliment each other.
Exactly. So what you should do is what Jen and I do. You go into a group and you search somebody asking for a service. If you go and you comment on there and you say, Jennifer is the right person to do this for you, that person is way more likely to hire Jen because I haven't stuck my hand up and said, I'll do it. I've pointed them somewhere else, right? And I've already established that this person is an expert. This person is reputable. This person is somebody I don't mind associating my name with, right? So Jen is way more likely to get that sale. So if you pair up with somebody, I pair up with Jen and say, Jen, promote me everywhere, please. But I do the same for her.
Yep.
You're much, much more likely to get clients doing it that way.
Like, yes, it is a very competitive, cutthroat market, but if you support each other, like, it just comes back to you in so many more powerful ways. So
404 error. Hopefully that's not for the free training I provided. If that's for the free training that I provided you, please let me know, because I'll send it to you again via message. I know this happened to Jen the other day, actually, when she was trying to do it. But when she tried to open it in a Chrome browser, it worked.
It worked. I was using my Brave browser and it just came up blank, but Chrome worked just fine.
Yeah.
Not sure why.
Yeah. So just copy and paste that link into a Chrome browser. And if you're still struggling, let me know, please. Should I run Facebook ads to get my own clients? Oh, no, it's saying no Facebook Live due to technical issues. Are we back? I believe that this is being recorded, so we'll be able to post it so you guys can come back and see everything that got missed. All right. Should you run Facebook ads to your own clients? Well, if you were talking to a business owner whose business was in the exact same place that your business is, what advice would you give them? Run ads? Database reactivation? SEO? All of these things? That's exactly what you'd be telling them to do. So sometimes you've got to take your own advice. Now, it's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Just like when you're creating a script for your cold email, you've got to use that same mentality for your ads, okay? And the other thing is, you don't want to just say, hey, I'm better than everybody else. You want to be able to point out why you're different, because better is better for sure. Different is best. So if you want ads for your agency to work for you, you need to only or mostly be talking about what it is, what the problem is that you're solving. You want to mostly be talking about what it is that your prospect is feeling. And you want to be positioning yourself apart. All right. So myself, I don't say I'm a bitch. I'm a agency coach, right? You have to position yourself differently. You have to be able to say, I launch agencies. No, I launch agencies without using questions. Throw them in, because we're going to be answering them, because we're going to have to wrap it up. Also, it's after 9 o'clock where I am, so I need to go to bed. But I really enjoyed meeting everybody. I really did. I feel that we're going to have a great time. We will be going live frequently. We are going live again Thursday night with John for his snapshots. And we're going live on Sunday night with Jen with her brain spotting training and somatic movements and all those fun things that really give you practical steps to stay motivated and to release a lot of that imposter syndrome that Krista was talking about.
Yep.
If any of you want to see us more frequently, we will be active and present in the Atlas Agency Launch Lab group. I will share the group. And if anybody wants that free training that we mentioned today, I will post the link to it in the top of the group as well. We'll be adding more free trainings as we go along. I know that I'll be adding our script writing training in there for free very soon. We'll be adding some of the brain spotting and somatic movement things that Jen's talking about in there. So get your link. You only need that one link, because as the free trainings arrive, those get added to your library. All right?
Thank you so much for always imparting your encyclopedic, compassionate wisdom. You amaze me and inspire me every time.
Oh, thank you,
All
honey.
the time. So thank you so much for having me on. And I just can't wait to hold and support everybody to live their optimal business entrepreneurial life. It's going to be great.
Yes, it's going to be great. And thank you, Carrie. Yes, I'm glad it was fun, and I'm glad it was informative.
Thank you so much for staying, Carrie.
Yay. All right. We'll see you again next time.
Okay. Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye.